Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, devotees. So we will continue reading from the next paragraph because certain parts are at a very higher level, which uh, one way to see it is we are very neophytes. Therefore, we may not be able to really understand the depth and essence of what it really means. And secondly, in a group or in a public study, the most uh, intimate and most confidential knowledge should not be read out. Confidential pastimes, not knowledge, but confidential pastimes should not be discussed in a public forum or in a group. Therefore, we will skip the next paragraph and we read from this paragraph that I have highlighted here. Sri Ramananda Rai then explained that Krishna is attractive for both men and women, for the moving and the unmoving. Indeed, for all the living entities. We heard that Krishna is so attractive that even the peacocks, the deers, the birds, the plants, the grass, the trees, everything would get attracted. The water of Yamuna, everything would get attracted. So Krishna is attractive to every living entity. For this reason, he is called the transcendental Cupid. The Sri Ramananda Rai then quoted a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter number 32, verse number 2, stating that when the Lord appeared before the damsels of Vraja, the Vrajagopis, smiling and playing on his flute, he appeared just like Cupid. That means he was attracting their very soul, life soul. The life force was being attracted. That is transcendental Cupid. The different kinds of devotees of the Supreme Lord have different aptitudes and relationships with him. Even in our very basic stage also, we are all sadhana bhakta. That means we are all doing sadhana, and because of that sadhana, we have developed. In fact, before sadhana also, it is because of the association of devotees, and because we had some faith in the words of these devotees. Now, suppose somebody who does not have faith in the words of a devotee only, will such a person ever develop any attraction for sadhana? Why will they develop any attraction? It's not possible only. So, therefore, the first currency needed, first important thing required is faith in the words of devotees, sadhu, in the words of sadhu. So, when somebody has faith in devotees, shraddha, strong faith in devotees, no, if this person has said, if Srila Prabhupada has said, then let me do it. Okay, let's see. We will do it because he is saying it. Because we have developed a liking for this person, for this devotee, and we have faith in this devotee. So from there begins our sadhana. From sadhana, there is some attraction towards Krishna. Because of that attraction to Krishna, there is some development, there is some attachment to Krishna. Then at that point, if somebody comes and tells us, you leave all this sadhana, what are you doing? No, no, no. Because we have developed some attachment and attraction to Krishna and his devotees, therefore, even if somebody comes and tells us, why are you doing all these things? And nobody's paying you, what wastage of time? See, that 16 rounds takes you 2 hours. Better you go and watch a movie. You can sleep during that time. You can go and enjoy something else during that time. Go in a park and take a nice relaxing time out. No, 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 no. We will do all that, but the 16 rounds I want to do because that faith is there. Neophyte means that this faith is not constant. That is one who is at a Kanishta Adhikari. That if somebody comes and tells you that, see, since the day you started doing this, all this Krishna consciousness, all the problems in your life have started. Yeah, you are right. And then they leave Krishna consciousness. That is a Kanishta Adhikari or an absolute neophyte, but one who has strong faith in the words of devotees, one who has strong faith in devotees, they will be able to develop that strong faith in Krishna. This is a telltale thing. This is a litmus test. It's as straight as that. Now, such devotees, when they develop this attachment and attraction to Krishna, so every devotee, it is not that every person who becomes a devotee will have the same mood and same aptitude and same relationship and same feelings and same thoughts for Krishna. No, everybody has a different feeling. Somebody may think Krishna to be their master, that when I see Krishna's deity, it gives me so much peace. But they don't think beyond it. Okay, what is my connection with Krishna? What is the relationship that I feel with Krishna? How do I feel attracted to Krishna? I feel attracted to Krishna, but in what way? Maybe that they are not, still they have not developed. Then there are some devotees who have a very intense feeling that when I feel attracted to Krishna, this is the feeling that I get from within. This is the relationship I feel from within. Very, very clearly they start understanding certain things. So therefore, devotees, they are at different levels, and therefore even at the same level also, all the pure devotees don't have the same feeling and emotions for Krishna. Yashoda Maya is pure devotee, Nanda Baba is a pure devotee, the Gopas are pure devotees, the Gopis are pure devotees, and the Dwarka Vasis are pure devotees, the Vaikuntha Vasis are pure devotees. But do they have the same relationship with Krishna? Do they have the same feeling with Krishna? No. So, different kinds of devotees of the Supreme Lord have different aptitudes and relationships with Krishna. Any relationship with the Lord is as good as any other. Does that mean this relation is higher than or better than that? No. Every relation of a pure devotee and the Lord is perfect, is as good as any other, because the central point is Krishna. In this connection, there is a nice verse in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.1 that states, Krishna is the reservoir of all pleasures, and he is always attracting the gopis by the spiritual luster of his body. He especially attracts Taraka, Pali, Shama, and Lalita. These are the principal gopis of Krishna. Krishna is very dear to Srimati Radharani, who is the foremost gopi. When we say gopi, Gopi Jana Vallabha, we say Radha Vallabha, Gopinath. Which gopi are we referring to? Srimati Radharani. Gopinath means who is the Nath, who is um, the beloved Prananath of Srimati Radharani. Like Krishna, the gopis are glorified by Krishna's pastimes. There are different kinds of relationships with Krishna, and anyone who is attracted to Krishna in a particular mellow is glorious. If you are attracted to Krishna, then that is glorious. Krishna is so beautiful, transcendental, and attractive that he sometimes attracts even himself. There is many pastimes are there when Krishna looks at his own reflection in water, or sometimes in the in a broken piece of glass, and Krishna gets stuck looking at himself. He's like, "Oh, this person is so beautiful," and then Krishna forgets everything. Krishna is so attracted to himself. Also, there is one verse otherwise also where Krishna is in the Bal Swarup. He's um, licking his own toe of the foot. And he's relishing that this is so tasty. There is so much nectar in this. Krishna himself is relishing his own toe of the foot. the, Bilvamangal Thakur, no? Bilvamangal Thakur writes, um, Kararvinde Padarvindam Mukhavinde Viniveshayantam Vatasya Patrasya Pute Shaya बालं मुकुन्दं मनसा स्मरामि. So our Acharya, he is seeing this vision and then he is writing. Devananda Thakur only, right? If I'm making a mistake, then please excuse me, please forgive me. So, like that, Krishna is always attracted to his own transcendental beauty. And the following verse appears in the Geet Govind 1.11. Mm. We will skip this part. Or, okay, let me just read it. विश्वेशारञ्जनेन जनयन्नानन्दम् इन्दीवर श्रीनिशामलकोमलैरुपनयन् अङ्गैरनङ्गोत्सवम् स्वच्छन्दं व्रजसुन्दरीभिः अभितः प्रत्यङ्गम् आलिङ्गितः शृङ्गारः सखी मूर्तिमान् इव मधौ मुग्धो हरिविदति. My dear friend, just see. So, Geet Govind is composed by Srila Jayadev Goswami, who's another pure devotee and so dear to Krishna. Once it so happened that Srila Jayadev Goswami had composed these verses for Jagannath, and he was having a doubt in one of the verses because the vision he was getting is uh, that Krishna is serving the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. So he wrote the verse and then he erased it that no, 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 how is it possible? Then he again wrote it because again and again this vision is coming. Again he erased it. No, how is it possible? What am I thinking? Maybe I'm thinking wrong. So Jayadev Goswami thinks, oh, this is so confusing. I'm getting stressed because of it. So let me go and take my bath and then let me come back and with that break, maybe after that, when I sit, I will be able to write. I will get a proper vision, whether I should write this or something else. Okay, so he goes for a bath. After some time again, Srila Jayadev Goswami comes back, and then his wife, she has cooked everything. But that day, of course, he comes back very quickly. So his wife is very surprised that he came back so quickly. So she started hurrying. She was cooking and she was finishing the this thing. So quickly she completes all her work and then she serves her husband and she says that, Prabhu, you have come back so early today. Yes, I had to write a verse actually. Therefore, I came back early because all the time that verse is going on in my mind. Oh, okay, okay, I see. Wife is saying. So the husband, and this is a Vedic culture, Vedic system that the wife serves the husband, and then after the husband has already honored the prasadam, then the wife accepts the prasadam and the remnants. So, because husbands were also very, very spiritually advanced. So, advanced husband is guru, an advanced devotee uh, in Krishna consciousness. Such a husband is the guru. And even if the person is not advanced in Krishna consciousness, still the husband is guru. The husband comes in the position of a guru. So therefore, we always take remnants of guru. We don't sit with the guru and eat. That is not the Vedic culture. So anyhow, so Jaidev Goswami, he takes his prasad and then he says, okay, I have to quickly go and sit and write this verse. So now you uh, take your prasad and I will go and write my this thing. Okay, fine. So now his wife, she sees that, okay, husband has properly taken prasad, honored prasadam. Now she prepares her plate and she sits and she starts taking prasadam. And as soon as she's honoring prasadam, suddenly she sees that her husband is entering from the door. And she's so surprised that, oh, Prabhu, you just went in your room. And how are you entering from the main door? So Jaydev Goswami says, what are you saying? I am just coming. I went for my bath, Madhyan Snan, and I'm just coming. No, 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 Prabhu, you just came, you had prasad, and you'd asked me to sit for my prasad, and you hurriedly went to your room because you were worried about some verse and something. So Jaidev Goswami understands what has happened, and immediately he runs to his room, opens the book, and nobody is there. His wife is surprised that you just entered the room, nobody is there in the room. Jaidev Goswami opens his pothi, and he sees that the verse that he has already striked out, that same verse has been written. And who has written it? Lord Jagannath himself has come. Because Lord Jagannath was relishing that, and because Jaidev Goswami, who is his pure devotee, was in dilemma whether I should write this or should not write it. Therefore, Jagannath comes himself that I cannot wait for this. Therefore, Jagannath himself comes to write, not just comes to write, he relishes the prasad cooked by the wife of Srila Jaidev Goswami. And then Jaidev Goswami, he feels ecstatic and he starts crying. And then he tells that you are so fortunate, Padmavati. You are so fortunate. You have seen the Supreme Lord Jagannath face to face. And not only that, you have personally served and he has eaten what you have served him. Just imagine. So that is Srila Jaidev Goswami. And another in another instance, when he has completed this Geet Govind, he takes and he wants to stitch it. I forgot what is it called in Puri. They put it on Jagannath. It's like a dress. They put it on Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra Maharani. So this entire Geet Govind is stitched on that cloth, and it is uh, Jagannath wears that cloth of Geet Govind. So when the first cloth was to be stitched, Srila Jayadev Goswami goes to the tailor and says that, and everybody loves Srila Jayadev Goswami because um, a pure devotee doesn't have any enemies. He's a friend to everyone, and everybody loves them. That is the sign of a pure devotee. So when Srila Jaidev Goswami goes to this tailor, then says that I want to get this stitched. He says, "Oh, it is going to take quite some time. Okay, no problem. I will stitch it for you, but I have one condition." So Srila Jaidev Goswami says, "What is it?" Says that you have to sing the entire Geet Govind, and while you are singing this Geet Govind, I want to hear it and I want to stitch while I'm hearing it. I will not stop stitching, but if you stop singing, then I will stop stitching. Okay, okay, no problem. So Srila Jaidev Goswami starts singing this Geet Govind in beautiful melody with all the love and devotion and bhav and feelings for Jagannath Swami. And when he's singing this Geet Govind, this tailor is nicely stitching. He's hearing Geet Govind, and with love and devotion, he's stitching this cloth with the Geet Govind lyrics. Hmm. And then at one point of time, Jaidev Goswami suddenly dozes off. And then at that very moment, the brother of Srila Jaidev Goswami enters and says, and then he continues singing. He enters and he says that I was listening, that my brother was singing, but I see that my brother is now so tired. Therefore, let me continue singing this. And then he starts singing this Geet. He starts continuing to sing this Geet Govind, exactly where Srila Jaidev Goswami stopped. And this Taylor is very happy. He continues stitching. He's like, wow, wow, the glorious brothers. Okay, Srila Jaidev Goswami is glorious. His brother is also so glorious. And he's enjoying, he's relishing, and he's stitching this cloth. And then finally, this cloth is completely stitched. And Srila Jayadev Goswami, he was very tired, but he wakes up from his sleep when this is done. And at that time, the brother also leaves. And immediately Srila Jayadev Goswami remembers the condition and he says that I'm so sorry, I had dozed off, I couldn't sing. Did you stop stitching? No, no, Jayadev Goswami, I have completed stitching because as soon as you went off to sleep, your brother came and he started singing. My brother? But I don't have any brother. What are you saying? As soon as you slept, your brother entered and he started singing. But I don't have any brother. There is no one I know who is my brother. And then Srila Jayadev Goswami again understands what has happened. And Srila Jayadev Goswami embraces this tailor that, oh, you are so fortunate. Everyone else is so fortunate other than me. Everybody is getting darshan of Jagannath except me. When will I get darshan of Jagannath? So Srila Jayadev Goswami, he embraces that tailor. He says, you are so fortunate. And this tailor is also in ecstasy. Actually, because Srila Jayadev Goswami is so dear to Jagannath, therefore anybody who is serving Srila Jayadev Goswami automatically becomes that fortunate to get darshan of Jagannath. And this principle is very, 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 very much applicable even today. Because Srila Prabhupada is very dear to Krishna, because our Guru Maharaj is very dear to Krishna, if anybody is trying to serve Sri Guru and Srila Prabhupada sincerely, then they will become the most fortunate. They will definitely get darshan of Krishna. There is no doubt in that. Not only darshan, they will get the highest benediction, they will get the highest mercy, the highest success. It's just simply by trying to serve and please pure devotees, nothing else. Nothing else is required. So, again, we'll come back to Srila Jayadev Goswami's Geet Govind. I think we are we have already crossed our time. Just read this part. My dear friend, just see how Krishna is enjoying his transcendental pastimes in the spring by expanding the beauty of his personal body. His soft legs and hands, just like the most beautiful moon, are used on the bodies of the gopis. Sometimes Krishna is putting his hand around the gopi, around Srimati Radharani. Yeah, sometimes the gopis are giving a nice massage to Krishna's legs, sometimes giving a good head massage. When he embraces the Braja gopis, Krishna is so beautiful. Krishna is so beautiful that he attracts even Narayan, as well as he attracts a goddess of fortune who associates with Narayan, who is the wife of Lord Narayan. So Krishna is so beautiful. Krishna is so beautiful. This is the verse, the meaning of the verse that we just sung. We didn't sing, I recited. So we'll pause here and then again, Krishna willing, we'll continue reading tomorrow. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Your very divine and kind association, which inspires me to speak Krishna Katha, such beautiful pastimes of Krishna and his pure devotees. Actually, Krishna's pastimes are nectarian, but even more nectarian is the pastimes of his devotees. So I'm so grateful to all of you for your association. Shri Srimad Srila Jai Pratara Swami Guru Maharaj ki Jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari
हरि हरि बोल
Hare Bol.